Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi with more props. Trying with more props for you. Didn't want to be a hat guy. Grouping. So I'm grouping here in Remnant, and first off, Remnant is a great game. Oh, look at, if I put my head down too far, you can't see my eyes, YouTube. Don't trust a YouTuber that when you can't see their eyes or their face, YouTube. I would never do that to you. 360 videos later. So I'm in Remnant. I'm grouping now. I'm with one person. And I love grouping in Remnant. It's very easy to level character. It matches you up, I think. And I haven't read any of this. I'm just telling you what I've observed. When I started my character, I went with just any group at my level and just leveled me up, level. And the leveling really is, you got to get resources. You take the resources, you upgrade your weapons mainly, but you also as your main class choice levels up, you get higher level. It's great fun grouping in the story. It's absolutely fantastic game. The gameplay, again, I tried Elden Ring. The game just not as polished as Remnant. Maybe that's not fair. Those of you that are more fans of this genre, Dark Souls genre, but Remnant 2 has got it all in spades. I really like it. There's going to come a point, I'm sure, that I'll be done with it. But I got to unlock a lot of those classes. Maybe not all of them. It's too hard. I'm not doing it, YouTube. Don't got the time. So I'm in a group. This is adventure mode. One of the things that's great about when you redo the missions, think about the Division or any of these other games where there's unlimited inventory space. But if you get the same reward, it just pluses up your piece you already have, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of incentive to replay the missions. In general, these games, just why do I play the Division on Legendary so much? It's a new experience. Now I think we got our third person, and we're going to get them right now. We're going to bring our third person in. One of the things that happens in Remnant is when you join a group, the person has to warp you in. You know, they have to go to a life stone, and it brings you in. So sometimes when you jump in a group, it won't join you right away. That person has to go to a life stone, basically, or if it's called a remnant stone, whatever it's called, who cares what it's called. But then they get you in the game. So that's what we've done. I was with someone the other day. Someone came in. They ran off in a different direction and died. I didn't realize that, and I kept going. And I felt like a schlub because I kept playing. I'm like, I'm a bad person, and I can do it. And really, I should have just killed myself so we could have got the other person. Sorry, YouTube, for me being an incompetent person. So we're doing this group mission with 3. I guess it scales up. You get better loot. You get all that kind of stuff. Again, I'm playing on the easiest level. You can play on the easiest level, and there's 2 higher levels. So I'd like to say there's a lot of headroom in this game for you to bolster up the challenges. I think recently I did another Diablo 4 video. Diablo's not a bad game. It's fun when you get to that rush, that certain part. And then it's like, it's good to have. You can always go back to it. There's a lot of Valiant games you don't have to pay a monthly fee for. The bad thing is, when you're done with the story, then what? And so what happens with a lot of people when they make these games, a lot of the influencers, the people that influence games, get done with the story so fast, then they start complaining about the game. I want to think about whatever that game Amazon had. I bought that at first, old something or whatever. It was a good game, but it, you know, when you looked at the social media on it, it started okay, and quickly it just turned to crap, you know, according to social media people. It was still a good game. It was great to play. Some people, of course, people are going to exploit. You know that from every single game. And then there's this cat and mouse game between the developers and the really hard charging people. So last video I did was the werewolves and vampires, and I had a little tongue-in-cheek. I kind of took a dump on vampires, one might say. Not going to get back into this. Why should you group? I think grouping is really important. Number one, I think playing by yourself is really important to get a feel of the game, to learn what you're doing, and to be able to do this moving forward. Also to gauge yourself. But as soon as you can group, you should group. It teaches you a couple things. It lets you see different ways to play the game. It also helps you level. And in turn, in Remnant, you can open up your gameplay and people can jump in and you can lead them around as soon as you know what to do. Basically, you're going to an area, you're going to find where the dungeon is in that area, you're going to beat the boss in that area. And then you might go to another area and do the same thing, or you might go back to the Watch Station 13, whatever it's called, Pier 13, Station 13, Ambrosia 13, whatever it is. Grouping's important. But before you group, please like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, comment, hit the notifications. I'm trying to get on these comment section immediately. Every day I turn the comments on. Every day YouTube turns it off. It's a war. Maybe it doesn't like that I badmouth AI. Maybe it's trying to tell me stop badmouthing AI. YouTube could be. Anyways, you should group to improve yourself. It's fun to do it. You're helping people. I did my most popular video on the Division 2. I used to do this thing called shepherding, and it stopped at 99. I didn't know. The first time I didn't know I did it. I just grinded and grinded and grinded. I got to 99, and like for days I kept doing it, like maybe they're not. And then like a week later I looked online, it capped at 99. So I did it the second season. In the middle of that second season, I did a video, should you help agents? That's what they're called in the Division 2. Should you help people? Absolutely, you should help people. It's one of the reasons you're playing these types of games. You might play something like Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. You're in there. Or Fallout 3 or Fallout 4. You're in there. And those are great games, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel a little empty about playing a game that no one ever is going to be in. I can share it with you. There is a space game coming out, and I'm thinking about getting it. I don't want to get a new game every month. It's not, I just don't want to get a new game every month. And also something's got to drop off. So at this point, Elden Ring has dropped off of my playlist. Division 1, Division 2 will probably share the same spot. Diablo 4 will get a little bit less. I'll be playing this a lot. And I love me some Ghost Recon, and I love SWTOR. So those are some of the games I am going to play. So number one, you got to play a game that has grouping in it. And that's what I was excited about this game. It's super easy to group. We're going to fight a boss now. And I have done this previously solo, so I know what to expect. And my build is, I've talked about this before, you can use your armor to, the heavier your armor, the less mobility you have. So that means when you dodge, the less capable you are at dodging, or your speed is lower. So I have 52% mitigation with all my junk. However that works, YouTube, haven't figured that out yet. But I don't go over with my friends over there because I've done this and I fought it from over here. I don't know how it is over there. Also, from my experience, bunching is always bad. Right? Because a grenade or one AoE and it wipes you all out. So, and I have a dog, and the dog can res me, so I'm kind of okay by myself. So one of the mechanics on this boss is the more damage you do to the boss, you get this red thing. I don't know what it does. So I just don't want to get it. And you can't see it on my screen, but there's a bar. As the more you shoot the boss, the more it gets. And I don't know, maybe die, so I stopped doing it. Again, the thing I like about Remnant is you just get in and play. There's no, you don't need to know anything. You just get in there and play, and it's like a lot of other games. So why should you group? So you played this solo, now you're grouping. You can bring a lot of value. You don't need to tell everyone. It's not a raid. There's not a bunch of stuff. lot of times how my character's built, I'm a handler in Remnant, and I have medic. I'm medic 9 now after this video. But so I'm all about healing and support. Like, that's kind of what I like to do, is play support and try to keep everyone up and have a build. I guess it's like that paladin build in WoW where you're unkillable, but you can heal people. Or like a shaman in almost every single game, a shaman or a druid has a bunch of healing. And I like those classes. And I like shield classes with that because you're just a little more tanky. I'm not a person that needs to be a run and gunner. Maybe there was a time in my life where I was, or as a DPS person in these games. I'm not at this point. And look at us completing the quest. So, YouTube, you've been great to me, and I appreciate it. So, YouTube, don't you deserve a little bit more? Yes, Ronan. Yes, we do. We need a little extra. Ask YouTube, and ye shall receive. I'm wearing a hat. What kind of hats do I wear? I always wear those truck stop hats with the mesh in the back. I don't want something too crazy. High speed, low drag is something, I'm not the one that invented it. That's been around forever. But a lot of times when I've made a system where I've done something at my old jobs, when I would set up a process, you know, it's high speed, low drag, that we had a lot of efficiency with a very little complication. So I got that. Sometimes I feel like a jackass for wearing it. Sorry, YouTube, for cussing, but but right now it's the mesh back. Anyone interested in merch? So I would love to make a merch store. I'd love to design stuff. What I'm not sure of is, you know, not every one of my thumbnails is great. So sometimes I wonder how much people are turned off by the thumbnail or not. And in a bigger sense, I'm grouping with all of you. That's Roxy. Then that was Macy. And that's Roxy. I wonder if I can name my dog this. If I can, I probably will name it Roxy. Or Caesar. Or Macy. But that's the thing. On a meta level, I'm grouping with all of you. So I appreciate you coming by the channel, watching, liking, listening, and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. I used to make a lot longer videos. And what I'd find is I ramble a lot even in here. It's hard for me to stay on point. Because each thing I tell you about, there's some things behind it that I want to give you some context for. And I shorten the videos to a certain amount. I think they're the right amount. Every video I make's not the best video for everyone, so I understand you don't watch them. Some people are really faithful and watch them. I appreciate you. And some people watch what they can, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. And so this, on a real life level, I'm grouping with all of you. That's Caesar. I'm trying to give you something daily. I'm trying to give you some insights I have as a senior person, as an elderly person. And for what it's worth, it's good, bad. I try not to put too much politics in there because there's no point in doing that. I don't have a lot of say in any of it. That's a whole different topic for a whole different time. I'm an ex-military person. I was in the Coast Guard, so I like to share some of that. People have questions about that. Get your DD214, YouTube. So I think grouping's important. I think it's important that you can do things on your own, but I think it's important to play well with others in games, in life, with your parents, with your children, with your friends, with your spouse, with your significant other. Not everyone's going to want to play games. My wife and I, Mrs. Ronan Kazi, talked about it. She doesn't like any game with guns. So I'd have to find, there's not a lot of games that aren't shooting. So that's a whole different topic for a different time. So YouTube, thank you for coming by again. This is a prop. The hat is a prop. Maybe I should get some sunglasses as a prop. Thank you, YouTube. Bye.